And well, just to give a little background to all of the devotees who are watching online, and thank you for joining us. We're just sort of catching up because we had a long day. It started off with we had a 7-hour kirtan, and then what we had there was an abhishek, and then there were just initiations, and I had to leave. The fire is going on and everything else is going on, so bear with us if we're not exactly on time, but things are sort of spontaneous today. And we don't have any water, but that's all right. And fine, we're just waiting everyone to come in, and we're all right. We may start a little late. Inida odaray shal hatok bhaktipad as yo. Okay. Everyone come in, whoever's there. And I'm speaking in English. Okay, everyone here understands English. Let me just see if there's anybody else. Yeah, there's lots of devotees, and here's our water. Fantastic. I'm going to tell you a little story while we're waiting for everyone to come. Yes, please come. We've got lots of room, and this is about Lord Vamandev, and when you reach Srimad Bhagavatam, then Vamandev, of course, he appeared in north of India, and Bhagavatam sort of describes that he went to the place of sacrifice that Bali Maharaj was holding. But come in. You're one of the brave ones who sits in the first row. And we're just sort of waiting. Ideya is pretty. And valamikor téged is bemutatlak. I'm going to introduce you at a certain point. I don't know, if we run out of chairs, then Anurag, someone will have to provide some chairs if we run out. And in the Bhagavatam, the pastime looks as if Vamandev appeared and he just went to the place of sacrifice. But actually, the Bali Maharaj's sacrifice took place in south of India. So it was quite a walk, and of course he's a dwarf, so he had a long walk, and amongst the places that he came onto a river, and these going from one end of the river to the other end on the bank. He's looking some place to cross, but it's very deep. And there's the devotee, he's just up on the far shore, and he's looking, seeing what's this little dwarf, Brahmin dwarf, doing. So he finally goes to him. He says, "You're trying to get across the other side?" And he says, "Yes." He's very enchanted. He's so beautiful and very attractive. And you want to get to the other side. What are you going to do when you get to the other side? He said, "I want to go to the sacrifice of Bali Maharaj, and I'm going to ask him for dakshin." I said, "Really?" So the devotee's thinking, "Well, I'll take you to the other side if you give me half the dakshina." So Bali Maharaj, so Lord Vamandev says, "Okay, I'll give you half the dakshina." So the devotee puts him on his shoulder, and he feels this great ecstasy all of a sudden, that he's got this child on his shoulders, and he's like, he becomes overwhelmed, the body starts to shiver, and his tears are coming from his eyes. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but anyway, he goes into the water, and as he's going in the water, he's also holding Vamandev's feet, and he sees the marks of Vishnu on his feet. And he said, "This is not an ordinary dwarf." He said, This is the Lord." So they're halfway across the river, up to here, and he says, "Come in. Whoever's outside can come." We've still got the chairs here, and he says, "You're not a dwarf." He says, "You're Lord Vishnu." And Vamadev says, "I'm not Lord Vishnu. Don't exaggerate. Don't make things." He says, "I see these marks on your feet." He says, "Anybody has marks on their feet. It's not a big thing just to have marks on the feet." No, anyway, they have an argument in the middle of the river, and finally, Vamadev acquiesces. "All right, I'm Lord Vishnu. If that makes you happy, then I'll be Lord Vishnu." And the Brahmin says, "All right, but I don't want half the dakshina anymore." He says, "What do you want?" There's some chairs over back here, but like I said, we're out of chairs. Or maybe, someone who's robust can sit on the floor. No, it's all right. There's just a few. You just sit on the chairs right there. And so he says that I don't want that dakshin anymore. I know that you're Lord Vishnu. He says, I want you to promise me that you will take me to the other side of the ocean of material existence. He says, forget the dakshina. And Vamandev says, why are you making such a big thing? Why don't you just take me to the other side? He said, but first you have to promise that you're going to liberate me. He said, but I told you I'm not Lord Vishnu. He says, I know you're Lord Vishnu. I can feel that you're the Lord, and I can see the marks of your feet in my hand. So either you promise me you're going to liberate me, or you're going back to the other side. You're going back to the shore. So then finally, Vamandev says, all right, I'll liberate you. Just take me to the other side. So he takes him to the other side and he puts him down. And that's written in some Puranas. Okay, now more or less everybody's here. Did you see anyone behind you as you were coming? Okay, so now let's get on to Nitya-seva. And thank you all very much. For those of you who are participants, hányan vannak többen? Thank you for those of you who are online, those who have already started in Nitya-seva, and for those of you who haven't, there's a big river between here and where you came from, and you're not going to cross the other side unless you do. Maybe down the corridor, or the folyosóra. Here's, anyway, so, because there's quite a few of you here who may be a little new, I'm just going to give 1 minute review of what Nitya-seva is, and we're going to actually show you a video of that later. And anyone who wants to sit on the chairs, you can, yeah, very good. We can sit down, come up front, Krishnamala, and that'll let the others sit in the back. Nitya-seva is a program which is designed to take care of Radha Shyamasundara's personal maintenance. We want to ensure we want to ensure in perpetuity that Radha Shyam are taken care of, and what we do is we give the opportunity for devotees to sponsor 1 day of seva, which I will show you. I will go through the figures very quickly. And by sponsoring that 1 day of seva, we get 365 devotees, and that means Radha Shyam service is taken care of in the future. The sponsoring system takes place in a way that the cost of the service roughly is about, and we're talking about Radha Shyam as well as Gornitai in Budapest, is about, say, 800 euros a day. So what you see, the deity worship, of course not on festivals, but the average maintenance of New Brajadam's deities, all the deities here, including the Shingadev and Sudarshan Chakra, Govardhan Lal, and so on, as well as deities in Budapest, is 800 euros a day. So the Nitya-seva program is that devotees donate an amount which adds up to 4,725,000 forint, and the interest on that, we invest that, and the earnings on that amount, figured out at about 5 to 6% annual earnings, that covers that daily. That 4,700,000 forint is, in today's currency, how many euros? 14,000 $17,000, 18,000 pounds, 13,000. It changes. It changes because of currency. And as you will see, we invest this mostly in real estate. And I'll show you some of Radha Shyam's real estate. Most mennyi van? Ez volt 56 volt. Many. Altogether, in terms of land, properties, apartments, houses, Radha Shyam currently has about 56 investment portfolios, and that's aside from some fixed metals and some other minor investment, but our major portfolio is properties. And I'm just going to, Govinda Swami Maharaj was kind enough to come here. I'm just going to let him say something in terms of the principle of Nitya-seva, or whatever he'd like to say about serving Radha Shyam, and I'm just going to hand him the microphone. And if Maharaj wants to stand up, I'll keep the thing, you can just even hold it. And if you look towards the people over there and the microphone, and there's people all over the world over here.
Hare Krishna.
And Maharaj is all geared up and ready and prepared to talk, and after the kirtan, and he just came back from doing puja.
A very short puja. Well, you all know that I've been visiting New Brajadam for a long time, practically since the beginning. And I was honored to be here when the deities were installed. How many years now?
25.
25 years ago, I was honored to be here when the deities were installed. And I've seen the development of the puja over the years. I've seen the care which has been given for Radha Shyam. And It's really super excellent. I've traveled around the world and I've seen beautiful ISKCON temples everywhere, but the standard of care that I see for the deities here is something which is wonderful. The dresses that are prepared for the deities, the offerings that are prepared for the deities, the consciousness and the love of all the devotees who are participating in the program here is something really great. So, you know, we've reached out with Maharaj to our friends throughout the world that they would consider participating in this Nitya-seva program, that everybody can sponsor, care for the deities, and we've had success with a number of our friends in Middle Eastern countries that have contributed. Maharaj will continue. He'll show you all the different elements of the puja. He'll show you the different elements. He mentioned he was going to show us Radhe Shyam's, you know, investments, properties that they have. I'd like to encourage all of our friends who are present here in the room, and I'd like to encourage all of our friends around the world to give careful consideration to this program. It's a contribution that you can make, go a long way in helping to maintain a beautiful project. Srila Prabhupada's, one of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON's very, very beautiful projects here, and to maintain the worship of Radhe Shyam. For us who are sitting in the room, we just danced and chanted in front of Radhe Shyam for 6.5 hours. And you all know that when we're here and when we're chanting and we're dancing and engaging in service, some very special mercy flows. So, you know, you all have experienced it, and those people out there in the internet world, perhaps you've seen things online, you've experienced the mercy of Radhe Shyam also. Please, you know, consider from your hearts, you know, contributing to this very noble effort. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Okay. All people in the internet world, Hare Krishna. I'll sit here.
Thank you, Maharaj. And I'm just going to go a little further to explain why we're doing this. Originally, this was actually a meeting of those who are already donors or proposed donors, because a lot of devotees here who are not necessarily clear about, well, why? Why are we doing this? The reason why we have this Nitya-seva is because the maintenance of Radhe Shyam at present and the deities is dependent upon Sankirtan income. It's dependent upon donations. If the donations come, it's good. If the donations don't come, then it's not so good. And that's not really a good basis for taking care of Krishna. Krishna's maintenance should be guaranteed. So since there have been deities, and particularly now I'm talking about India because that's where deity worship is known, since there have been deities, deity worship is not based upon day-to-day donations. All deities in India, especially well-known deities in India, have vast deposits, billions in value of deposits. And the deities are maintained from that. The current financial climate is favorable or not is a detail. The fact is that deities should have stable income. And that stable income is built up like that by kings, by merchants, major donors. They facilitate building up the deity's equity, which in days of yore, if you read Shastra, you'll see that when a deity is installed, for instance, then the local king gives 20 villages. And the produce from those villages, a certain percentage of the produce and income, whatever is made in that village, whether it be farming produce or they're manufacturing goods or whatever they're doing, the deity becomes the prime beneficiary, the first beneficiary. They're the first beneficiary. Now, Hungarian government is not about to give Radisham any villages, and we're happy that they're favorably inclined towards our work over here. Therefore, we have to make alternate step, and this is the alternate arrangement that Srila Prabhupada also did, specifically for his deities in India. So Prabhupada has a Mayapur Vrindavan Trust for taking care of the deities in Mayapur, Radha Madhav and Panchatattva, Krishna Balaram and Radhisham in Vrindavan. Also deities in Hyderabad are also included in this trust. And that was major donations that Srila Prabhupada received. Any of you stayed in the MVT guest houses in Vrindavan? That MVT guest house is owned by it was built and owned by the funds. Prabhupada gave instruction. The advantage is that the principal always remains. It's not spent. And not only as it remains, but it's done with an investment so that it increases its value. And it's the earnings of the investment that maintains it. Now let me just do a little introduction here, and I'll show you how we're going. We're staying here for a little while. I'm going to show a little introduction. I'm going to also introduce you to Prithvi Patipadu, who oversees the investment aspect of the portfolio, and Radhakrishna Prabhu, who is, well, I can't say he's going to take over this headache from me, because it's going to be always my headache. For me, I want to be very, very peaceful. One of the things that's going to make me peaceful in life is if I know that Radhisham's service is assured. And here is what the total expense of the deities is. What you're looking at is annual expense, and what you're seeing, also people online are also seeing, it's 109 million forint. Right now we're giving you info in forint, and you can divide by pounds, that's like 400, by euros it's 350, by dollars it's 3. Yeah, so it's about 500,000. So this is the annual expenses of the deities. We generate a certain degree of income. The donation box that comes in, earnings that come, if you're buying pizza here when you're not supposed to be eating, that's going to the deities, so that's okay, you can eat more. And when you're buying the Mahaprasadam and things like that. So the deities have a certain type of, a certain income that we see coming in. It's average that. But that means that they have a 82 million annual shortfall. But, and that comes out at 800 times 365, let's say about 200 to 300,000 euros a year. So what we're looking for is this amount. This is 1 billion. So that's 1,725,000,000. When that's invested, the earnings that will generate, it will generate that 80, if you multiply this by 5%. So we're figuring on a minimum of 5% annual earnings. Right now we're doing better than 5% since we've been doing this project. That will come out to this figure here. So this is the total amount. And what does that break down to? If you divide this into 365 days of the year, and we're looking for 365 sponsors, although we have some devotees who are doing multiple, some devotees who have taken 1, 2, 3, or they're planning to continue on, it breaks down to this. That was the figure I gave before, 4,725,000 forint. Where do we stand at the present moment? Where do we stand at the present moment? I have a hard time seeing things, so you probably see things better. This is what's already been booked. So we're about 1/3 of the way there. When we say booked, that means They're either fully paid or partially paid, not completely. So we're doing pretty good. It's 1/3, but still a ways to get there. And we set a target. And Mohan, the target is Janmashtami 2021, right? Correct, 2021. Originally we wanted it at 20, but somehow or another it creeped up to 2021. And so we're trying to cover this whole amount by then. Okay, how does it work? Well, how does the whole thing work? Well, let me show you. Here we have certain devotees. Where is Mohan? Mohan! He's not here. Mo!
Mohan.
There are.
He's gone.
He's gone, okay. Anyway, but everybody knows Mohan, so he needs no introduction. We let devotees know that this opportunity is available. Govinda Maharaj helps. He's personally a Nitya-seva donor, sponsor of one day. Indradumna Swami Maharaj is another. I have other godbrothers who've also made similar promises. And I myself, this is part of my service. We have devotees here in Hungary, especially Mohan, anyone who sets foot in the country, then he sort of tracks them down and tries to introduce them to Radhesham and the Nitya-seva fund itself. And that fund is invested. And I'm going to ask just Prithvi Pati Prabhu to speak on the microphone. And he can just explain just very briefly what's happening. We're preaching, devotees become very inspired, and they give a donation. And then Prithvi, what happens?
Yes, and the donation is arriving, and then after we have a financial board, there are several devotees in the financial board. There is Radharadya Prabhu, Radhakrishna Prabhu, Maharaj, myself, and we are deciding which is the best investment for Nitya-seva. And this decision goes to the Hungarian management board. And this board is also decide the investment. And then all the income goes to Radhesham.
So the income, thank you, Prithvi. The income from the investment goes there, and the supervisory committee.
Three devotees.
You.
Madhupati Prabhu, Rasikananda Prabhu, and
so there's Prithvi, I think you should come and just explain to everyone the difference between the supervising committee and the financial board.
Okay, the supervising committee supervises all the process. It is an independent committee, and it supervises every year. They goes through the whole investments, money, and supervise, and they give a summary on it.
So they're supervising what the financial board is also dealing. They also overlook the investments. They check the quality of the properties themselves. And they're made up of Madhupati Prabhu, who is a chartered accountant, a high-grade chartered accountant, Rasikananda, who is an international lawyer. And so they have real experience with this type of things. So, and in this way, the deity worship goes on. There's a lot to the deity worship. There are 20 devotees full-time, for instance, engaged here in New Brajadam. 20 devotees being engaged in the deity worship means that potentially, if you see, oh, here's Mohan. Come, we were talking about you, waiting for you. So 20 pujaris can potentially mean 100 people. It means you got a pujari and a pujarini, and you got children, and you have a home. So there's a lot of involvement going on. There's a phenomenal amount of work. The deity department, the deity department here in New Brajadam is certified by our international deity minister. Deity worship minister is the cleanest deity worship in ISKCON. And Budapest is considered to be the most well organized. That's just because it's more compact. So yes, and this is the way the system works. And of course, Radha Shyamsundar ultimately gives everyone the blessings. You will see Lala Krishna. She will be on a little video that I'm going to show you after. And she makes a very, very simple and very deep point. And I'm just going to preface it, just in case you miss it when she says it. And she says that, yes, I support Radhe Shyam because Radhe Shyam are our supporters. We take care of them, they take care of us. And that's the basic system that Vaishnavas have their faith in. They know that if I take care of Krishna, Krishna is also going to take care of me. He's already taken care of me because I'm already being benefited in so many ways. But we should show that reciprocal relationship, and we should, in the Western world, it's also a tradition because all the churches that you see everywhere, all throughout Europe, they weren't built by priests selling Bibles on the street. They were built by, in the same way, kings, merchants, donors, and the maintenance of those churches. Unfortunately, many of those churches have fallen into disrepair due to a lack of support. And of course, they don't have any deities inside them that are being worshipped. So now, here's from 217, end of last year report. And this gives you what the investments are being placed into. Real estate, 45% of what we have. So you saw before, 32% of the total required days have been covered. Out of that, 45% comes from real estate, 2% from forests. The heating, cooking, and everything, the wood that comes here comes from forests that's owned by Radhe Shyam. The pasturing grounds, some of the pasturing grounds in which the cows pasture here is also owned by Radhe Shyam. That means that New Brajadam rents it from Radhe Shyam and they pay rental for that. Then we hold a certain amount of precious metals and government bonds. And you can see that this 42%, this is in the process of investment. That means that we're building a property, the property is being built, we're in the process of trying to buy some property, buy some apartments. So you can see that's quite a bit of chunk, but this will all be going into real estate, unless somehow or another, if you look out there, there's this huge big forest on the other side of New Brajadam, going up the next hill. There's a 100-hectare forest. We'd like to try to get that if we can. Wood is a great investment, but it takes 80 years to harvest. So it has to be done. We're trying to get it first as a government grant. So this is really the breakup at the present for 2017. And here are some of our properties. These are some of Radhe Shyam's properties. These were all built and purchased by us. This is actually already purpose-built, very beautiful. All of these properties are more or less a stone's throw away from Budapest Temple. This gives you a little idea of what they look like inside. These are ones that are under construction. These are properties that are under construction. That's why we have quite a bit of funds that are sitting. We're building as the properties are being built, and of course we pay the builders, and then once it's built, then we rent them out. Property prices are really sky high in Budapest, and a lot of investment going on here, although you may hear a lot of things, but real estate is doing very well, and apartments, we rent some of our apartments for how many euros? Oleg draga, but yeah, 1,000 euros, 1,200 euros a month, and people are even paying more, and those are for two-bedroom homes. This is also under construction. So if you want to know more, then you can write us on our Nitya-seva office. We're on Facebook. This is also the internet where they can contact. And then personal meetings. Personal meetings are available. Anuragi, she can stand up over there with her computer in her lap. And Anuragi and Shamaju here is the organizer of the office. And Anuragi is the one who speaks English. And so the two of them manage the office, they interact, they do everything. You get the daily pictures of Radhe Shyam and everything else, as well as the newsletter that comes from them. Okay, you can sit down now. And Mohan, in terms of personal meetings, whether you want it or not, you're going to meet Mohan. And I'm always available, at least for this, we're always available. And Hare Krishna. Now I'd like to show you a little video. Mindent megmondtam. I want to show you a little video that we had made, and this is a promotional video. It'll say some of the things that I said, but I particularly wanted to have you all hear it first from me. Some of the things are maybe not so detailed over there. And this is 8 minutes, and then if you have any questions, and then we can just go back, and Prasadam is in 1 hour and 20 minutes after that.
This is I feel, a very special place.
Krisna-völgy egy közel 300 hektáros ökofarm, és szent hely is egyben, Európa egyik legnagyobb ökofarmja.
As soon as you come, you feel that force of peaceful energy and very uplifting straight away.
Ha jövök, akkor mindig valakihez jövök, az Úr Krisnához jövök. Idefele jövök, és az érzés a szívemben az volt, hogy hazajövök.
Itt nem volt semmi, aki járt itt, az úgy láthatta, és ezt így önerőből csak egy pár bakta így fölépítettük. Télen is kint főztünk hajnalba, hogyha reggelit kellett készíteni, akkor gyertya mellett főztünk. Sokszor nem is láttuk, hogy mit főzünk, és volt egyszer, hogy amikor ugye fagyott zöldségek, hideg víz, megfagyott mindkét kezemen az ujjaim. És akkor így imádkoztam, hogy segítsenek, mert szeretném őket tovább szolgálni. És akkor szerencsére így hát segítettek, mert most itt lehetek, és a legszebb szolgálatot kaptam cserébe.
I find that a really special quality of this place is that there's a real strength of focus towards serving Radhe Shyam, the deities here.
My parents are Swedish, nationality, but I grew up in Sri Ramayapur. Coming here and seeing Radhe Shyam Sundar, it's beyond anything like I had ever expected. They're breathtaking.
The worship of Radha Shyam Sundar is really integral to the culture of Krishna consciousness. In India, deities are worshipped in tens of thousands of temples and are revered to be non-different than the form of the Lord, and there's a very deep theological significance to that.
Here you can see jewelries of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. There are jewels by colors.
A mi feladatunk előkészíteni az imádatot, gondoskodni murtikról, főzni, tisztítani, öltöztetni őket.
I started off with doing transferring and washing the deity's paraphernalia, then started cooking and doing arti for Radhe Shyam Sundar.
This is the outfit room. We have more than 150 outfits. This is one of the most popular outfits of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. And on the pieces, you can see all animals of Vrindavan. This is the skirt of Srimati Radharani.
Több mint 30 féle zöldségünk van. Az istentudatos gazdálkodásnak az az elve, hogy mi magunkat, mint Krishna szolgái látjuk, onnantól, hogy neveljük, magot vetünk a földbe, szedjük a zöldségeket, végig arra gondolunk, hogy ez majd Krishna örömét fogja szolgálni. A legkomolyabb viszonzás az abban van, amikor tudok szedni először zöldséget, akár melyiket, például egy paradicsomot, vagy egy kis korianderlevelet, amit tudom, hogy nagyon szeretnek a púdzsárik, és Radhe Shyam, és akkor beviszem, akkor nagy extázist érzek, tudom, hogy Krishna elégedett.
Radhe Shyam jelenlétét én nagyon sokszor tapasztalom az életemben. Bármikor, amikor így csak gondolok valamit, vagy szeretnék, persze, ami velük kapcsolatos, akkor azok mindig teljesülnek. Sokszor már így zavarba vagyok, hogy ennyire segítőkészek, és hogy ennyire tényleg meghallgatnak, segítenek mindenben.
Lelki szinten gondoskodni a tehenekről vagy az ökrökről, ugye azt jelenti, hogy lehetőséget biztosítunk nekik arra, hogy odaadó szolgálatot végezzenek. Ami azt jelenti mondjuk a tehenek esetében, hogy akkor megszálljuk őket, és akkor átvisszük a tejet, és föl van ajánlva Krishnának. Vagy az ökröknek megadjuk azt a lehetőséget, hogy ők kimennek a földekre, és akkor megművelik a földet, segítenek élelmiszert előállítani, és akkor az van felajánlva.
Nitya means eternal and seva means service. So those services which ensure in perpetuity the worship of the deity of the Lord is called Nitya-seva, and that's something that we began here in New Rajadam in 2000, and we're hoping that we can finish it within the next 3 years. The idea is that devotees, sponsors take responsibility for one of the 365 days of the year.
From contributions we receive, we invest into real estate, which is owned and managed by ISKCON Hungary. These buildings and apartments are being rented out. This creates a fund which we use to maintain Radhe Shyam in Krishna Valley and Gornitai in Budapest. To ensure this process is safeguarded, we work under the supervision of a board consisting of independent professionals.
It's a very secure process, and it's something that also secures benefit not only for the donor now, but because it's in the name of that donor and their family. So for life after life after life, everyone's gaining benefit of serving Radha Shyam Sundar. What to speak of the happiness of knowing that yes, wherever I am in the world, I'm serving Radha Shyam. The tradition is not new. It's not something that we started. It's not something that Srila Prabhupada started. This is, for instance, the way Balaji in Tirupati or Lord Jagannath in Puri are worshipped.
I sponsor this Nitya-seva because I find that it is very important for everyone, not only for us here, to help to maintain the worship of the Lord Ships, who are our maintainers.
A Nitya-szévát nem azért adom, mert hogy kapok érte valamit. Én egész életemben nagyon szeretek adni. És amikor ezt meghallottam, hogy van lehetőség arra, hogy az Úrnak egy ilyen szolgálatot adhatunk, akkor ez nekem egy nagyon természetes dolog.
Some of my best songs I've written about Radhe and Shyam. I'm in debt to them already, and I'm trying somehow to pay that debt back by supporting.
Nirvajdam represents a revolution in consciousness to be able to live simply and think highly. At that very center of the community is Radhe Shyam, and personally they've reciprocated in so many wonderful ways in my own life.
For me, Nitya-seva means an opportunity to show our gratitude to Radhe Shyam for all that they have done for us. And it also has a personal meaning for me because it means I can leave behind a legacy in my life.
Nagyon boldog vagyok, hogy én az elejétől részt tudtam venni ebbe, és nekem így nagyon jó érzés, így Radhe Shyam, most sírni fog, hogy Radhe Shyam elé állni és felajánlani az akkori lemondásaimat.
You can really feel it and feel the mood of everyone that stays here, that they also want to really serve and be very, very welcoming to anyone that comes to visit. So these things really touch your heart, and you don't forget it very quickly.
So anyone who is sitting in the hallway, if you want to see it again, the video, you can see it after. We can show it again. This was originally meant to be a little report, but since a lot of new devotees came, it ended up becoming also an introduction as well. I'm not going to say any more. Anyone have any questions? We wanted to just sort of start at 5 and at 6. And we're going on time so that you can. Going to be standing out here on the other side so that if you go out, you want to learn more, here are the brochures, take them with you. And whatever you want to know from an individual point of view, you can ask me, you can ask him, you can ask Shamju or Anuragi. And thank you for coming. Thank you for those who are supporting, thank you for those who are thinking of supporting, and for those who are not, there's a big river. You still got to get across. And then we'll see you just a little later on over in the temple. And if anyone really wants to stay and see, because I saw there were a lot of devotees out there, and I don't know what